Alright, so the first step with the hair is just to brush it and then nicely in a straight line part it on the left. Next, I am going to dampen her hair a little bit with some water to make the smoothing back process a little bit easier. Now I'm using this nice little wooden smoothing brush, as I like to call it, which I'm sure you can get at drugstores, Walmart, that kind of thing. And I'm just going to smooth her hair back and keep pulling all of the little bumps and everything towards the back of her ponytail. Alright, now right here is the most important part that you will do over and over again, which is the hairspray. And as you can see, I just spray a ton of hairspray, smooth it out, hairspray, smooth it out over and over again. I'm just using a really cheap hairspray. If you know me, you know that I stick by the brand Got to Be Glued, which is a super heavy, intense hairspray, but it absolutely does the job. So if you can find that, then I would definitely recommend it. And just keep doing that smoothing hairspray process over and over again. So now that I have the ponytail as smooth as I want it, lots and lots of hairspray, I'm using 2 hair ties to secure her ponytail. 2 because you do not want it coming loose or falling out because of the hair tie being too loose. So just double up and play it safe. Now that the ponytail's in, it's a little bit easier that you're not holding it. You can go back with your smoothing brush and smooth out any last minute touches and just keep adding more hairspray till it looks exactly how you want it to. Next, I'm going to be using these open hairpins to make her bun. Definitely use open rather than the closed ones because they just go in a lot easier than the closed ones do and will make for a much more secure bun. And as you can see, when my hands are not blocking the camera, I'm just twisting and pinning over and over again, trying to keep it as flat to her head as possible. Next, I'm going to use a hairnet that matches her color. It's a dark brown. Make sure that your hairnet matches the color of their bun, otherwise it looks kind of funny. And I'm just going to put this on and keep twisting it and re-putting it on as many times as it can fit around her bun. Now that the hairnet is on, I'm just going to put some more bobby pins in and keep hairspraying underneath anywhere that I see flyaways, and just really make sure that the bun is secure and not going to fall out. So I'm going to start off by applying some foundation, and I'm going to use this beauty blender, which is basically like a sponge. Really nice for applying foundation. I'm just going to get it a little bit wet with some water. You can also put it under the sink for a second, and it just helps really get the foundation all even throughout your skin so it's not splotchy. Here you can see that I'm blending the foundation into her hairline and also onto her neck so that you don't see a line where the foundation ends. Next, I'm going to be using some concealer, and I'm going to put that underneath her eyes and also where there are any red spots or blemishes, just to give those a little bit of extra coverage. Next, I'm just going to apply some powder to really set the foundation in place and eliminate any shiny skin. Next, I'm going to be using more of a medium brown shade to contour her jawline, and this is more of an extra step. I do think that it makes a nice little difference, but for pre-K and younger dancers it's not necessary. So as you can see, I'm just following the jawline And now I'm going to use this nice fluffy brush to blend it into place, and it just makes the face a little bit more defined in the stage lights. Now I'm going to apply some blush, and this is actually a little bit of a lighter blush, but for stage you have to remember everything needs to be a little bit more dark than just normal everyday makeup, so I would highly recommend a little bit of a darker blush just so that you can really see it. Now I'm going to use a spoolie and just comb out her eyebrows to make sure there's no straggling hairs. This step also is one that is not necessary. As you can see, I'm going to fill in her eyebrows, and for older dancers I think that having a nice brow line is important, but for the younger ones I wouldn't say that this is a crucial step. Now I'm coming back to that medium brown shade I use for the contour. You can also find a shade like this in an eyeshadow palette. I'm going to apply it to the lid of the eye, which is closest to the lash line, and I'm going to do that on both eyes. Next, I'm going to use a darker brown shade, which also happens to be in my contour palette, but now this is going to go in the crease of the eye, which you can see in the picture is a little bit darker, and I'm just going to kind of round that out. Don't let it go too high because then it will look like you have a black eye, but this just gives the eye a little bit of depth. Now I'm using another eyeshadow brush just to blend those two shades together nicely, and going back in with my fluffy brush to clean up any extra powder that fell. Next, I'm going to use this kind of shimmery lighter shade and apply this on the inner corner of her eyes as well as along her brow line. This highlights the inner corner, which really just brightens up the eyes and then also defines the brow bone. Next, I'm going to be using this felt tip black eyeliner, which I got from Sally Beauty, and I think it's really nice for beginners, people who struggle with making a straight line doing eyeliner like myself. And I'm just applying a thin line above her lashes. Now I'm going to use that same shimmery light shade that I used in her eyes on her cheekbones, and this is just to give a nice little glow. Next, I'm going to have her just curl her own lashes. This is kind of hard to do on somebody else, so if you have a little one, this probably isn't totally necessary, but it definitely does help lift the lashes and make the look with the mascara on a little bit better. Now I'm going to apply some mascara on her lashes. This can definitely be a super tricky step with little ones, so one trick that I've used is having them look at your shoulder. That way they're not looking up and getting the mascara all over their lid. So try that if you're struggling, or having them blink into the mascara wand. Lastly, I'm going to apply some red lipstick. This is a liquid matte lipstick, which I think all liquid lipsticks in general are a little bit easier to apply, and the matte ones stay on very nicely, which is good for a dance recital. But if you have a solid lipstick, there is no problem with that as long as you make sure to cover the whole lip nicely.